Hey everyone. Oh, so this is my response to Carl from the Debate Me channel and also Jock Block, I think, um, who is a Biden supporter who also watches the Debate Me channel. And in the comments, in the comments of the I Hate Marian Williamson video, they have extended an invite to me to debate, which I accept. However, I would like to say that there's several things to think about. One of them is like, do you want me or do you want a voter for Marian Williamson who actually would be voting and would live at the effect of her policies, rather than just like a Canadian crazy fan who is a surrogate. Um, and the other thing, the reason I'm doing this video instead of just jumping into the debate with Jock is because I wanted to ask Carl something, which was about when he was talking about the necessity of being objective and why I saw the video where he talked about Dr. Cornel West and when he talked about why he does not typically get behind any candidates. I actually fully understood his point, which was that it's very easy to get emotional. And if you have established yourself as the Debate Me channel or, I don't know, like secular talk, or your whole platform is based on being objective, then you have a responsibility to maintain that objectivity. And if you I'm looking at myself, so Carl is making me think about the effect of supporting and following a candidate for 4 years. I mean, in the off season she was not a candidate, but I would watch her podcast sometimes because she had like Marian Williamson had Pramila Jayapal, and she had Palestinian activists, and the people who were arguing about two-state versus one-state solution. There were two guys, one Israeli and one Palestinian American, on her podcast, and the down ballot races. There was all these down ballot candidates, progressive candidates in each of the states, either for the House or for the Senate, that she would platform and ask questions to, usually because the media, the local news, does not typically favor those kind of candidates who are not taking PAC money or they're running a kind of grassroots campaign. So she was involved in that. So I watched them. Now, even though, like, when I first got interested in Marian Williamson, I was not like swooning immediately. I saw her on The Breakfast Club, and I was like, oh yeah, interesting. She's an author. She knows what she's talking about somewhat, and she's kind of cool lady. And but I was still kind of with Tulsi at that point. And then I saw her announcement speech, which actually the algorithm did not immediately serve me when I searched. The Breakfast Club came up first, and then I think a couple of searches later, I found the launch, which was somewhere in California, and I was like, she was sort of the answer to my prayers in that, because I had long been thinking that the most attention-grabbing candidate is very typically elected, which at that time was Donald Trump. And I thought that Marianne Williamson had the crowd appeal of Donald Trump, but with the policies of Bernie Sanders and a few more policies, because, Bernie was not famously for reparations, but she is. Anyway, what do I want to say to Carl? Yeah, I see the point about, like, after following her for 4 years, I feel like emotionally invested, admittedly. So there is a lack of objectivity there, which I have to look at. And so if I'm, going to enter into any debate, I also have to kind of like breathe and not get defensive and reactive. How dare you? Because that's silly, and I know that's silly. Anyway, but what I wanted to ask Carl about objectivity, if you're predisposing yourself to look for trouble, to look for, to fix all the cracks in the roof and maintain the structure. Um, do you think there's not also an objective obligation or responsibility to look for evidence of what you want? For instance, and also, I'm acknowledging that there's a risk in this, that because then you can become emotionally invested. But for instance, like if someone cared about reparations, for instance, and then, they might think, oh, well, she's just into reparations because she's running for president. But then if you look online, you can see that she was talking about it in 1997. Or, the peace department. Oh, well, anyone can talk about the peace department. But she actually signed on to legislation in 2007, I think it was, that was like the Peace and Nonviolence Act. And I think she was involved in the initiative to introduce it to Congress. And so you can kind of see like in someone's past, there's evidence if they have supported a policy before. And the only thing I wanted to say about, like, if you're looking for all the cracks in the structure, you should also look at the beams. So, for instance, like, Olayemi's interview and Tim Pool's interview are two of her weakest performances, whereas the one on Bill Maher is notably better. And there are others. Although I must say that this season I have been more impressed by town halls than interviews. And anyway, and I personally like the Lena Franklin interview, but that is admittedly a completely softball interview. It's with a spiritual person, and I like that sort of thing. So, I mean, this is just total opinion on my part. So it's when I release the video about Rally the Sisters, that's really for people who are already of that mindset that might find that interesting. It's not designed to draw objective people. Anyway, what am I saying? Okay, yeah. So yeah, I wanted to say, yes, I totally acknowledge and recognize the danger of becoming involved in something positive that you get really inspired about and then you get attached to it. But I also wanted to ask Carl if he thinks that it's enough to just look for all the negatives and all the potential cracks in the structure without also acknowledging the strengths. If you see any, I mean, I don't think you can look for the cracks and then expect the structure to make itself evident to you unless you also focus on the structural integrity. Okay, I think I'm done. Anyway, Carl, thank you so much for the shout out. I really appreciate it. I love your channel, and I am not going to hate anyone for not liking Marian Williamson. I mean, that would be very silly. And I think I told you before that, like, the same vibe and my possibly my gut reaction is not as good as yours when judging character, but I responded to something similar in her that I responded to in you, which was a certain sort of passion in the way of speaking and clarity as well. Which I hope that doesn't offend you anyway. So big shout out to the Debate Me channel, Carl, and watch his channel. And don't be triggered because he is very cheeky. Like, he will punk you. So you look at the title and you think it means one thing, and it doesn't mean the opposite, but it means think deeper. That's what the the message is. The title is designed to grab your attention and get your emotions by the throat, and then you watch the video and it's designed to make you think. That's the point of his channel. Okay. Bye for now.